The time has come.
Salutations all, I'm Jockey, I'm here with Mimi as always. It's kind of become tradition for her to join me in these Mario Let's Plays, and the time has come to play Super Mario Bros. 3. How you doing, Mimi? I don't know if the mic is picking up this purring. Insert a video here. Hi, Mimi. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mario 3. If you're thinking the game audio is muted, nope, there's just no title screen music for some reason. So let's get started. One player, because yes, two player is brought back in this game. And this game, as the final Mario game on the NES, or the final main series Mario game on the NES, really completes the trilogy. It really brings back the classic elements of the original game, like mushrooms, coins, a lot of the enemies, like Goombas, who you now jump on like before. But it also introduced a lot of new elements, like picking stuff up and throwing shells, and this new power-up, the Raccoon Leaf, which allows you to float down and do a tail attack. Another new element is the run meter down there, which when full and you have a Raccoon Leaf, you can actually fly up and get to secret areas. So this game has a lot different about it, but it's still also very familiar if you played the original Mario or most Mario games in general. This is like the equal, okay, this is your Mario experience right here. Here we have a secret if we fly past that cloud section. Just a random number 3. There's a lot of those in this game for some reason, I don't know why. And every level ends with a roulette wheel, kind of similar to the bonus chance in Super Mario Bros. 2, only here we just get a single token, and by getting the same of that token in the bottom 3 squares next to our coins and time and all that, we will get a certain amount of lives, depending on what combination we have. Another innovation, world map, where we can pick our levels. Doesn't really mean much for the first 2 levels, but it does help give each world a bit of a personality. This is something that was in the intro screens of Mario 2. There was a bit of a design for each world, but this game really, I guess it feels like Mario is what I would put it as. If you've ever played a Mario game. Another introduction is those P-switches there, which when pushed will change the coins into blocks and blocks into coins, but it eventually runs out. Of course, some elements it wouldn't be Mario without, like the star here, which you can pick up as always. Although an interesting thing is that if you have the star and you do a running jump, Mario goes into this spinning jump, kind of reminded me of Metroid. Anyway, the 3 things we can get that roulette are the star, the flower, and the mushroom, but getting any combination that isn't just all of the same one will guarantee that we're just going to get 1 life. And here, it's kind of a new element. As you can see, there's a mushroom house back there, which that is useful, which I'll get into, but we only have to do 1 of these levels to get to it, and then we can just move on to the castle over here. In fact, we don't actually have to do either of those levels if we don't want to. We could just ignore the mushroom house entirely. But, seeing as how there's no harm in trying out both the levels, why don't we do that? So let's do level 4 first, actually, and this is the introduction of the auto-scroller, in which the screen doesn't stop, and we have to keep up with it. And this level also has a lot of bottomless pits we need to be wary about. Something awesome about Mario 3, we beat Mario 2 already, but something awesome about Mario 3 is that it has a couple of different themes depending on the level. There's an athletic theme and then there's the main theme. The main theme is the one that's playing in level 1, and it's kind of the more iconic one, but this here is the athletic theme for more jump-heavy, kind of exciting levels. And I actually really like the athletic theme in this game. But that would continue to be a main theme and an athletic theme duo in Super Mario World. Using the Raccoon Leaf to fly in this level makes it a lot easier, as you can see. And levels in this game are also a lot shorter, which is to make up for the fact that there's no checkpoints in this game whatsoever. Since there's no doors from Mario 2 and Mario 1, which had the invisible checkpoints, that isn't a thing anymore. But since we beat level 4, we can head to this mushroom house here, where Toad here tells us we can pick a box and its contents will help you on our way. Anyway, we have 3 boxes in them. There's one that has a Raccoon Leaf, one that has a mushroom, and one that has a fire flower. So let's just pick one. And we got a mushroom, which is kind of the worst of the bunch. There's one big difference in the Japanese version of this game and the American version is that in the American version they changed it so that if you have... well, actually, I'll get to that in a bit. But first we have another minigame here for Toad, in which we just gotta line these up, and if we get all of the same kind, then we get some lives. Which we did in the first try, so we get 2 lives for that. But as I was saying, in the Japanese version of the game, no matter what power-up you have, just like the original Mario, you'll go down just tiny. But in the American version of the game, if you have a Fire Flower or a Raccoon Leaf, then you'll go down to Big Mario. So there's steps. And speaking of the Fire Flower, here we have it, changed Mario to orange. Just interesting, and it does the same thing for Luigi, just like the original Mario. They don't have their unique sprites yet. And speaking of Luigi, we got 2 players back, and he's the second player as before. He doesn't have different properties like he did in Mario Bros. 2. But, you know, he's here and playable. Now, this is a new enemy, Dry Bones. Once you beat him, he'll eventually come back, so there's no way to actually kill him, unless, I believe if you have a star you can do so. This section here, we just need to be careful of those spikes on the ceiling. We need to duck here to be absolutely sure we don't get crushed. It might be instant death if we get crushed there, because getting crushed is certain death, although it might just count as a hit since it spikes. I'm not sure. And we have a mini-boss. It's Boom Boom. All he does is walk back and forth, and you gotta jump on him 3 times. That's it. And for some reason we pick up a question mark. I don't really know what the point of this item is, but upon beating the castle, the fortress is now destroyed, and the locked door that was here earlier is gone. And I guess I should explain why. You see, in this game, if you get a game over, you have unlimited continues, which, first of all, that's an amazing thing, and I love that. But if you get a game over, all the levels you do are undone, except for the castles and the doors that the castles unlock. So, even if we got a game over, we wouldn't have to redo these bits over here. We could just go down to level 5. Although getting a game over in World 1 isn't exactly... it's not likely. And here we have kind of an ice-themed level. It's a bit out of place here, but nevertheless... and here we can find a hidden note block. Just like the hidden blocks, we have hidden note blocks. And note blocks are just like springs, where you gotta time the jump button to bounce off of them. And this takes us to a bonus arena, not very different from the vines in Super Mario Bros. 1. Again, there's a lot of similarities to that game. Now, something I should bring up is that I'm doing the main series platformers in order. I mean, granted, I did Dr. Mario, but that's not really a main series platformer. I was just doing that to buy time, since Super Mario Bros. 2 had been delayed. But I've been doing the main series games in order, and it should be noted that Super Mario Land, which is the handheld Super Mario Bros. Game for the Game Boy, that's a main series title, because, you know, it's a platformer and everything, that came out a year after this in Japan, but in America, it came out a year before this. So, people might be familiar with this coming after Super Mario Land, but I'm doing them in the actual order, and in actuality, this game came out a bit before Super Mario Land did, so we're doing this now. Oh, they just slid off of there. One annoying change in this game is that mushrooms, which means like the ones that make you grow, and the one-up mushrooms, they had always like slid off of the side of the bricks, but in this game, they can go either way. It depends on, I think, where you are or something, but a lot of the time you just have to jump on top of it before it gets the chance to slide off. And that's the end of level 6 of World 1. And here we have a mini-game that appears every so often. It's not a space in the world, but just appears at some points. This is a flip over any 2 cards game, where it's just a matching game. There's a bunch of cards here. We get 2 chances. Okay, that's 1. And that's the other. But we didn't do too well, but the nice thing is that that mini-game will occasionally come up time to time in the game. And those cards stay the same, so we can remember now, okay, the Fire Flower is the first one, then next to that is the 10 coins, and so on. And speaking of Fire Flower, we just got it in this Toad house here. So that's very nice. Oh, and here's a new element. Hammer Bros now also have their own dedicated character that walks around the overworld. And we cannot go past him without encountering him, but it's just a simple fight. Not really anything to worry about. And we get a reward for it, too. We got a star. Now, some of these items I'm collecting just... but they're not going straight to me, like I'm not getting the power-up. That's because if you hit B in the overworld, you now have a selection of items which you can use for the next level. Oh, it's terrible. The king has been transformed. Please find the magic wand so we can change him back. So, as you can see, the king of this world has been transformed into a dog. And it's apparently the doing of some bad Koopa characters, because yes, Koopa King and Bowser, or Bowser, he's the same name. He's back in this game with his army. And this is another auto-scrolling level. Every world has this, where the final level of each world is like an airship that we gotta go through. There's bullets flying all over the place, including bullet bills who return, as well as just straight cannonballs. One of the annoying things in this world is that usually what you power up you get is determined by what level you're in. Almost all the time, the power up in the airship levels are the fire flowers, but that's kind of useless because the fire flowers don't affect the bullet bills or the cannonballs at all. So it's not like it's very useful then. I mean, I suppose you can use it on the boss, which we're going to be encountering in a minute here, but it's much more effective just to jump on the boss. The boss here is, I believe this is Larry Koopa. But Larry, he just has a wand, he shoots at you, you jump on him 3 times, and every time you jump on him, he goes into his shell and jumps. Really not an issue. And he's defeated in 3 hits, no problem. And hey, we got the wand that we needed to get for the king. And in getting the wand, Mario falls back down to the castle in which we can return the king back to his normal state. Oh, thank heavens, I'm back to my old self again. Thank you so much. Here is a letter from the princess. We receive a letter from Princess Peach. Greetings. If you see any ghosts, be careful. They will give chase if you turn away. I have enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool. And we got a P-Wing.